is also termed as PERT estimation. 3-point or PERT is the same. These are different PMI terminologies. You should be knowing that for the exam. PERT is performance evaluation and review technique, and 3-point is 3 points, right? Because we are taking into consideration the 3 points or 3 estimates to come to the more realistic estimate when risk or uncertainty is involved. So the keywords over here is definitely all those keywords that I have mentioned in the con side of parametric estimation, the risk or uncertainty, the complexity of work, dependencies, what ifs or scenarios, like different scenarios, different possibilities. Volatility. Volatility means like very quickly, like it's very quickly changing environment. If this kind of situation is there, then one estimation alone is not going to help. You would need an optimistic estimate where everything is going to work as expected, as per your plan. You would need a pessimistic estimate where nothing is going to work as expected or as planned. And you would need a more realistic estimate or most likely estimate based on your specific scenarios in the project. So these 3 estimates together is going to give you a more realistic picture than you want to keep yourself at a more positive side only, or more like only negative side, which like both ways it's not recommended in the project. So I know those project managers who used to think that no, nothing is going to go bad, and we inshallah are going to make it work, and everything is going to work as expected and as planned, and we as a team are going to try to make everything possible. I mean, there's no harm in thinking this that way. However, the more practical project managers would be those who plan the worst case and who executes the best case, in my own humble opinion. So you should be planning to whatever extent things may go wrong. And you should have the accommodation of your contingencies and reserves and estimates and resources and everything accordingly. Rather, you keep everything at a very best case level. And later on, when it's not working out, then you are answerable, you are accountable for your planning efforts to your senior management in that case. Coming back to the original conversation, that 30-day estimate in case of one resource which is junior, and if he's expected to do the similar kind of work that senior, not senior, but the mid-level resources were doing in 15 days, right? Two resources were doing in 15 days. If we consider everything going as expected, as per the best plan, and the junior resource is very smart and is going to pick up the stuff very quickly, and he probably is going to able to produce the deliverables in the expected time, as the mid-level resources did in the previous project, then this is going to be a very best case case condition, right? Or a very optimistic estimate. So in that case, yes, you can say 30 days probably would work, but you can't only rely on the 30 days estimate. This is exactly what the 3-point estimation is, that keep into consideration the risk that what may go wrong. So it's an opportunity for you. It's a positive thing. So later on, when we are going to discuss the risk management in detail, we get to know that this is an opportunity, something which is positive for you, that a resource which is probably low cost, low budget, is producing the similar level of work or similar kind of work as a mid-level resource or an expensive resource could produce. is an opportunity for the team or the organization. However, you can't count on it. You can't solely count on it. And if you are going to do it, then you would be considered as a stupid project manager uh, with respect to the project management standards. If risk is involved, if multiple scenarios or use cases are involved there. The other very obvious possibility is, what if it doesn't work, which is like a very the probability of occurrence of this risk is way more higher than the optimistic estimate. So for instance, the similar way as you have done the optimistic estimate, you might have done a pessimistic estimate as well by considering the same parameters or by observation or with respect to your experience and exposure in the industry, that if the similar kind of resource is going to work on this and like nothing is working as expected and everything is going bad, then most likely this is going to take this project is going to take maybe 42 days if everything is working wrong, not as per the plan. And then maybe there's a most realistic estimate that maybe out of 9 features, 3 are very straightforward and he probably would be able to pick that up. Another 3 are very complex and he probably would be struggling in that, and the remaining 3 are probably conditional. He may pick that up, he may need some time to pick that up, right? So based on that, and after consulting the resource himself, you might have got an understanding that that person would most likely take 35 to 37 days to complete that. So 42 days is when even those 3 easier to do features would go wrong, would not go as expected. Right. So you would have a very positive side estimate, you would have a very pessimistic side estimate, and you would have a most likely estimate in your case for the resource, for the tools, techniques, processes, management capabilities, everything taking into consideration. And after that, you apply the formula. Formula is this. Like there are 2 formulas actually for this technique. One is the triangular estimation. The triangular estimation says that it's triangular estimation, which says that you just average out. The better distribution of the better estimation says that you give more weight to the most likely estimate and less weights to the optimistic and pessimistic estimates. So out of the 6 weights, it's most likely, it's possibly most likely to occur with respect to the pessimistic or optimistic end, which usually doesn't happen in the practical world. In the practical world, you can't count on the optimistic estimates during execution. And you do not really want to take it to the pessimistic side as well, for obvious reasons, right? So in the practical world, you usually count more on the most likely estimates. So if that is the case, then better distribution applies, that you give more weight or more percentage to the most likely estimate than the optimistic and pessimistic. And in your case, if all the 3 can be equally taken into consideration, then triangular estimate applies. Both formulas may give you different results. This is also possible. For instance, if I take 37 as most likely 42, and if you do the maths, then let's see, 4 times 37 plus 42 divided by 6. Then you get to know that this can be the same or similar number, it can be a very different number. That depends on how the estimation has been done for these 3 points. My point is, mathematics is not important in this case. Like memorizing the formula, applying that, it's very easy. the concept is way more important, that what we are doing and why we are doing that, where the triangular estimation makes more sense, where the better distribution makes more sense, and where the 3-point estimation makes more sense than the other 2 estimation factors. Maybe you are wondering that where have we got these estimates from? You can use any estimation technique to get to this point. You can use analogous, you can use parametric, you can use bottom up, you can use top down, or maybe you can use just the observation and experience for understanding the most likely and pessimistic estimate. Right? 3-point estimation doesn't help you in calculating these estimates. It helps you in calculating the ultimate number at a project, or again, it applies at a project level, it applies at a deliverable level, task or any level of the project. It helps you in getting to the point that how does the final estimate looks like. Am I making sense, or am I speaking too much?
I didn't understand about the second point, in which I think this is the triangular in which you add 4 times of the most likely and divided that by 6. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, so it's not difficult to understand as, and for instance, you take this example. Like in this example, as a project manager, as a project management team, you know that the chances of occurrence of this estimate is way more than the chances of occurrence of this or this alone or collective when the project is going to execute. Then in the planning phase, you give more weights, 4 weights to the most likely, 1 weight to the optimistic, and 1 weight to the pessimistic out of the 6 weights, which is in the denominator. As a project manager, you are the one who knows the best about how the circumstances would most likely be. Right?
But how can we give it like 4 weight? How we are considering like how we are saying that this should be 4. Let's say I assume that this should be 10 or 12.
Yes,
And
I mean
what
it's
is
a
the
formula. It's a formula, right? So they have they have taken 6 weights, out of which they are given, I would say, the 60% weights to the most likely, only in the situation where you know, as a matter of fact, during planning, that most likely is most likely to happen during execution. Based on different situations, based on your communication with customers, based on your requirement gathering, based on the certainty of the scope, based on your skill set, the resources, their availability, their contribution, their experience in the past on these level of projects. Multiple factors would help you in understanding that how this project most likely would go. If you think that the project most likely is going to be in a pessimistic mode, then maybe go with the triangular estimation formula. This is triangular estimation. This is better distribution. I mean, it's about your understanding in that project. If you are not really sure that project, as per the planning, in execution phase, is going to uh, follow which among these 3 points most likely or more realistically, then maybe go with the triangular one. But if you know as a matter of fact that the second one is going to apply more than the other 2, then better distribution is more realistic. And to be very honest, in the practical world, the better distribution applies more in this case than the triangular distribution. In this case, you are giving 3 points. This is 1 weight, this is 1 weight, this is 1 weight. And this is a simple average. This is a weighted average. Do you know the difference of simple and a weighted average? The better distribution is a weighted average. So in case of weighted average, you give a weight to every number in the average, and the number which is going to get more weight, it's more influential than the other numbers. Right? This is what the concept of weighted average is. That all the numbers are not equally important. Make sense now? Okay, so this level of detail is not needed, at least at this level of project management understanding. If you have understood that how 3-point estimation is helpful, how it is taking care of the downside of analogous and parametric estimate, and like very broad level understanding of triangular and beta distribution, then you are good, at least for the exam. And for the exam, there can be 1 to 2 questions where this formula application may be needed. And in the exam, if they are not talking about, or they are not giving you any hints of triangular or beta distribution, then you are expected to apply the beta distribution formula.